Okay, so yes, we're going to make this random PC. We're going to practice storytelling. And remember, when we're generating PCs, this isn't just for players and for player characters. You as a DM could go through this same process and make dynamic NPCs as villains, as antagonists, as followers of the party, things along these lines. Yeah, you could always say, "Ah, it's a random shopkeep, an old man," and you get the gist. But do you want that old man to have a flavor? Do you want him to be a part of something? Well, this is one way to do it. All right, let's get started. If you in chat, whether you are new or old here, at any point in time, yeah, just comment, play the fun chat games we have. The commands for those are down below. You'll see exclamation point deck. You can draw from the deck of many things. There's you can go on little mini adventures if you type in like random planes. That's like the beginner level monster, little like monster hunter thing. So you can have fun there. You can ask questions along the way, whether they're directly related to what we're doing or not. This is a conversation, and I want to make sure that I'm addressing that with you all. I will also be soliciting you for feedback on this character. This is not just my character. This is our character. We build this as a channel, as a community. Every day we do content, and you are getting first blush in the Twitch audience here. This show is for you primarily on the night that we're broadcasting. And if you miss it, I will be putting them up as VODs. I had some help from Shad last night. Trying to find and locate that, and I was thinking about a plan for that. Though I do have that on YouTube. As well, you can join the Discord. There's that command. And here's the YouTube as well. Okay, with that, tell you what, let's get warmed up with Who Goes There? This is a fun little roleplay exercise that will randomly call out one of you in the audience. Oh no, I've called out myself. And I suddenly respond, F creep. Well, if I'm answering myself, that's probably not my friend. Let's roll some initiative. Oh, I only got a 5. Whatever, blarg. I'm dead. Well, I killed myself. I guess I replaced myself, so hopefully the new me is better than the old me. But just in case, if one of you were to take me to go get a resurrection, let's use a res, please. Hey! And I came back as a male dwarf bard. Anyway, so there's some of the fun that you can have in chat. It does cost some experience. KH, Dark Wolf, since you're new here, I'll give you... I'll give you some fun experience to try a couple things here. And do we have anyone else here? Babyface Cletus. I don't remember your name in channel from before. You're welcome to lurk. All of you are welcome to lurk, and you're welcome to participate, comment, have fun in the games, do whatever. There we go. Okay. The first thing we're going to do in order to randomly generate this PC or NPC... Oh my goodness, that gave me a wonderful idea, but I'm not sure it'd work. What's the idea, Steel? Share it. We're going to roll a percentile die. And we have a 37. This is going to be a female. 1 to 45 is female, 46 to 90 is male, and 91 to 100 is a multi-class character, and then we would roll again. A female, what? We're going to roll a d10. If it's 10, we're going to re-roll it. 9. Ooh, we have another Tiefling. There's no subrace for Tiefling. However, there's something that we can do. We're going to roll a d10 and see if it's odds or evens. It is evens. So if we go down here, while Tieflings outside of Unearthed Arcana don't have an official subrace, for these half races that exist, when you were growing up, which part of your ancestry do you favor more? For a tiefling, do you favor your devil side or your fiendish side, or are you favoring more your human side? That could have a tie-breaking effect on a personality, maybe on what type of skill we want. And in this case, she is going to be favoring human, her human half. Steele says, using illusion magic to create a double of someone, and I'm not sure if there's a way to throw your voice, but if possible, make someone talk to themselves and see what happens. You could do that through a couple different illusion spells, or a combination. You might even be able to get away with using a little bit of cantrips like thaumaturgy. But certainly more of the minor illusion, that might work, because I think that can create sound. But then depending, do you want the person to cast heat? Do you want the person to smell as they would normally smell? Because that could be a big giveaway. But yeah, Steel, there's nothing necessarily saying you as a magic user can't use that magic in order to present someone with themselves. Okay, coming back here. Her alignment is going to be based on a percentile. 95 and one more for the other axis. So we have an evil character. What is we had a 10% chance to roll an evil character. She is evil, and we got a 50, which is just shy of neutral evil. So she is going to be lawful evil. Ooh. I think we've only generated 3 evil characters in our weeks of broadcasting. Steel, oh my goodness, this world is so wonderful. How so? How so, Steel? What's your inspiration? Ooh, sorry. Sometimes you just gotta scratch your head, you know? Even as king. Her level is going to be based on a distribution curve that I made. So we're going to see which percentile she's in. 39. Checking down here. Here we go. Level 8. Level 8 what? We'll get to that right after we determine if she's going to take any feats instead of ability score improvements. Because she's going to get 2. Her first is at level 4 and her second's at level 8. 38. Okay, we're just taking ability score improvements, or ASIs. So we don't have to worry about that. Now we get to another juicy part. We're going to roll a d12, and that is going to tell us which class she is. And further rolls will define her from there. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a monk who's going to go into a d3 archetype. Archetype number 2. That is going to be Way of the Four Elements. We're just gonna... There we go. Oh, I don't necessarily mind this song, but I want to keep to the Windswept Plains for right now. There we go. Sorry, we'll come back to you, Russian Winter. That random encounter just gave me... that idea, and the fact that it's possible makes D&D even more enchanting. I'm glad you think so, Steel Dust. If you want, if you're going to stick around, remember we have part 1 and 2, which we're sort of like the content that I want to make sure that we're discussing and bringing up, and we're going over storytelling. Part 3 is open Q&A, exploration, things along those lines. And this could be something that we can talk about in that regard. How would you go about mimicking someone? We can look at different illusion spells and do things like that. Oh, okay. Darkwolf is going on an adventure. A nearing rustle. A rabbit? Jumping from the grass is a scarecrow. Only a 9 or greater can defeat it. You attack with disadvantage, adding a +1 modifier. And if you win, it's worth 125 experience points. So, KH, because you're attacking with advantage or disadvantage, type !2d20. Hey, Peru. We're gonna see how Darkwolf here is handling her first adventure. So remember, that's !2d20. There we go. On 14 and 13, well, hey, even though you had disadvantage, your 13 plus 1 is going to be a 14. You've overcome the scarecrow that leapt out of the fields at you, and this means that I am going to add some points to your count. Or EXP in this case. Ta-da! There you go. Fun and easy. Now, you, Dark Wolf, will have to wait 5 minutes before you can do that command. However, everyone else only has to wait 1 minute for a global cooldown before they can adventure in the plains. However, there's still Forest, Dungeon, Tomb, Underdark, and Epic that you can adventure through if you have the experience points for it. Those details are down below. You can also duel people, battle a random monster, not necessarily in a particular biome, and you can bid any number of points for that. There's a lot of ways to have fun. You can just roll initiative, draw from the deck of many things. You can also ask for a res please, or do exclamation point. Who goes there to have a bit of like an NPC, like an RP session with that. Okay, so Steel's going into a tomb. A sudden noise. Hello? Deep inside this tomb, a carrion crawler appears. Only a 14 or greater can defeat it. You attack normally, adding a +5 modifier. Alright. It's one, exclamation point 1d20, Steel. And if you win, you get 700 experience points for it. Nope, it's just exclamation point 1d20. Oh, no. 4 plus 5 is 9, so unfortunately, Steel, not enough. So you lost some EXP because it seems that the carrion crawler got you. Maybe someone can give you a res, please. You're fine. Don't worry about it. So we have this, and keep playing games. I'm glancing over. You can see I moved the chat box over to this side. So I'm reading your all's comments a little bit more directly, I guess you could say. We have this monk that is the way of the 4 elements, so think kind of Avatar Last Airbender style stuff. Now we need to give her a background. You're really bad in combat? Hey, you can try it next time. Plains is probably opened up again if you want to try that. Plains and Forest are kind of the easy ones. Dungeon and Tomb are the medium tier ones, and then Underdark and especially Epic are the harder ones. Higher risk, higher reward. So statistically, you'll win more often in the easy ones, but you're going to win lower amounts. Hi, Mr. Grimm, or if you prefer, Mr. Grimm 1313. But bello to you too. We're in the middle of having some fun with some chat games, and we're creating a random character to populate into a story that we're building over the course of the week. So far, we have a lawful evil female tiefling, who's a monk going the way of the 4 elements. And now we're about to give her a background. To do that, we're going to roll a 13-sided die right down here. Hit roll. Here's a 3. Coming down to our backgrounds, 1, 2, 3. She is a criminal or spy. Spy is the alternate that we can take. So I'm keeping it up there right now as we consider it. And we also, there are 8 different kinds of criminal or spy. This is what this other or this option is. Then we're going to roll 2 personality traits, an ideal, a bond, and a flaw. Mr. Grimm is fine, and I was the guy left at Pop. Oh, cool. All right. I will be showcasing your stuff after we finish this character, and we come back from break to talk about PCs and how PCs are actually co-DMs in a game. It's not just a player and a deliverer of content. So definitely stay tuned for this. We have probably a little less than an hour to go. It's a level 8 character and a monk at that, so we don't have an extensive spell list to go over. We'll have some fun because you all should see the minis that Mr. Grimm has made for himself and his family. He allowed me to take some pictures and share them with you all, and I want to show you what he made because it's really, really cool. As well, and Dark Wolf, you know this very well, I took some pictures of one of the player characters from the game going on at the store right now, and that is the character who is a female half-orc fighter, maybe barbarian if I'm remembering. I think it might be fighter, and yeah, it is fighter. And she drew her character very well and in different poses, and this is all. That's kind of what we're gonna use to springboard into the part 2 discussion that we'll have. Oh, okay, I gotcha. You're the last one I talked to, not the last one of my D&D session. Gotcha. All right, cool. Well, 2 last guys at the Hero Zone. I know now who you are, right? We're the ones talking, and yeah, you had your ride coming and whatnot. I'm sorry, I thought you were you're the gentleman I talked to who was the last one for my D&D group to leave. Okay, it's all taken care of. Let's roll 1d8 for now. This is going... 8. This is going to be the type of criminal and/or... well, not and/or. The criminal or spy that she's going to be. Now we're going to come over here, roll 2d8 for 2 personality traits. Right now, I'm not going to type those in. I just want the numbers to act as placeholders. 7 and 6. So here we go. There's a 7. There's a 6. Now we're going to change this to a 3 and roll 3d6 for a random ideal, bond, and flaw. 5, 1, 4. There we go. There's a little bit more randomization that we can do before we get now into discovering what her background is going to be providing for her personality, and then starting to translate that into numbers. So that way we're still focused on ROLE playing and not necessarily worried about the ROLL, like the modifiers to hit. Do you want to be the person who hits all the time? That is a character style, and I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong. But for what we're doing, I want to encourage thought and creativity in your character, so you're playing your character, you're not just playing the skin of a calculator. Because you can always do that. Sometimes I find more people seem to have trouble with the getting into the character. Getting into the character, coming up with ideas, becoming comfortable with expressing your character, things like that. All right, we rolled a tiefling, and this is going to work because our city is ruled by tieflings. This is the one that we made last night. Tieflings start at 4 foot 9 inches tall, and we're going to roll 2d8 and add those inches to her. We're going to add 8 inches to her. So she's going to be 5 foot 5. Tiefling's base weight starts at 110 pounds. We're going to take this same 8 and multiply it by 2d4. 7. Okay. So we're going to add 56. So she's 166 pounds. And if for some reason I didn't do my arithmetic right, you guys are allowed to call me out on that, because shame on me. Nice leather armor. Thank you. Yeah, you know what? I had to go hunting. I had to punch some trees for a while to get a wooden sword, and eventually I was able to take down some dire cows, and I made some nice leather armor for the event. I was hoping someone would notice. Lastly, we're going to see how old she is. As you're generating a character for a home game, something like that, that's well within your purview. Because we're challenging ourselves, we have old characters, young characters, etc. We're going to roll a percentile and see where she falls. 15. Not quite a child prodigy, though close. She is going to be a young adult. Now, I write this out simply because it helps to go along with the storytelling as a reminder. What is her mentality? What could she be thinking? Because her personality could change if we rolled that she was in middle age, as opposed to being a young adult. Hey, Rowmonger, welcome to the chat. We're having fun creating a character. There's some mini games in the chat that you can participate in, have fun with. You can duel each other. Feel free, as I go through this character, to ask questions, ask why something is the way it is. I'll also prompt you all for some input on the character. For instance, as we're describing her personality, her characteristics, some of the last things that we fill in are her eyes, skin, hair. Does she have scars? Does she have tattoos? Also, we need to give her a name at some point in time. So as we're determining more aspects about her, this is all input you can have. And as well, there's going to be skills we're going to get to choose from. So if you have an idea for a skill, if you say, oh, she should have intimidation as opposed to persuasion, please, this is our character that we're building together. This is very interactive. And, oh, you just got done with your first session. Wait, your first session 0? Is this as a player or as a DM? Please share your story here too. I love, and others in here too, love hearing about other tabletop adventures that we all have. This is an awesome opportunity to just sit down and share that information. Young adulthood is 16 to 25 years. That's a 10-year spread. Tieflings age about the same as humans, so we're just going to roll a d10 and add that number. 10. Okay, so she is 25 years old. Boom. Nice and easy. Now that this is filled in, we can minimize our random roll generator here. Okay? And ta-da, there's our PHB, our PHB. Oh, I hope you're typing, Rao. I want to read about your first session here, about your encounters, your insight and advice as a first timer. And in Dark Wolf, if you want to tell people about Awe, you're certainly welcome to. Awe is a very interesting and special character. She ingratiated herself to a lot of people at the table, I believe. While you guys are thinking about that, I start with backgrounds because your backgrounds give you proficiencies and skills and some equipment and other things. And if we take this first, not only do we get a better idea of who she is instead of what she is, we're also going to prevent being redundant when it comes down to skills. They're in alphabetical order: Acolyte, Charlatan, and here's Criminal. Oh boy. Here, we have a Tiefling as an example, right? You are an experienced criminal with a history of breaking the law. You have spent a lot of time among other criminals and still have contacts within the criminal underworld. You're far closer than most people to the world of murder, theft, and violence that pervades the underbelly of civilization, and you have survived up to this point by flouting the rules and regulations of society. Grim says, is there a place that I can get a PDF of how to make my character? There's a link to the Discord. Mr. Grimm, if you use Discord, feel free to join. And same for you, Dark Wolf, and anyone else. This is a channel that's going to be for both the Twitch events that we're doing here together, and for there will be a sub-channel for what I run at my store. And even though you all in the audience may not be able to make it down to the store to play, you could follow along the adventure as I keep a bit of a diary for each day's events. That's not set up yet, but that is something I'm going to do now that we've finished the break between the Wednesday session and the Thursday session. But I can upload some documents there, so just hang in there, Grim. And that same paper that I gave you that had the how to make a character, it's there. As well, if you watch any of these other videos, I will be making some videos on demand on Twitch, but also on YouTube. We go through the character creation process quite often. Romonger says, well, I've never played D&D before, so we picked races and classes and rolled for stats tonight. I am now writing my PC's background. We are playing a homebrew, I guess is what it's called. Okay, so yeah, you are going through, the DM has made a world, him or herself, and you're going to maybe place by some custom home rules, things along those lines. Do you want to talk about your character some? Get some advice? Do you need some inspiration on writing your background or on how you want to direct your character? I will be happy to talk about that, especially because we're going through the character creation process right now, and it's very relevant. We're going to get skill proficiencies in Deception and in stealth. You're very welcome, Grim, and I appreciate you asking for that as well. We're going to get proficiency in some kind of a gaming set. I'm going to put question marks. As we're building this character, if you think of some kind of a gaming set that she would be proficient in, dice, cards, yeah, there's other in D&D games like Three Dragon Ante, chess, that kind of a thing, shout it out. This is our character. But for right now, gaming set is what we're putting in that she's proficient in. And thieves' tools. Equipment, she's getting the best weapon in Half-Life, a crowbar. Dark common clothes. And a belt pouch containing 15 gupuz. Now, this is our criminal specialty. This is what the placeholder for 8 was indicating. There are many kinds of criminals, and within a thieves' guild or similar criminal organization, individual members have particular specialties. Even criminals who operate outside of such organizations have strong preferences of certain kinds of crimes over others. Choose the role you played in your criminal life or roll in the table below. We get an 8, so she was a smuggler. Now, before we get too far, I want to see what the variant is saying, because maybe we want to make her a spy instead. Although your capabilities are not much different from those of a burglar or smuggler, hey, haha, you learned and practiced them in a very different context. As an espionage agent, you might have common, do I speak it? You might have been an officially sanctioned agent of the crown, or perhaps you sold the secrets you uncovered to the highest bidder. That's good to keep in mind. Her personality traits then, while bearing this, are 7. The best way to get me to do something is to tell me I can't do it. And, Rowmonger says, I'm playing a young OCD dwarf engineer who is socially awkward. Okay, so you seem to have a pretty good concept so far. Are you rolling for the background of something like Sage, or maybe even a Hermit? This crown is, There we go. There's like a little itchy spot on the forehead. I do like the concept so far, right? He gets along more with his or her own like tools and inventions and things more than other people. Maybe just wants to be left alone to his or her own devices, literally and metaphorically. Dark Wolf took a few minutes to set up, but I'm editing a pic of Siraya while watching. Oh, okay. Wow. Hey, if you're doing both on your phone, then that's some double tasking. Thank you. I look forward to that. In fact, Dark Wolf, I took pictures of Awe after the session, and I will be sharing those after our break when we finish developing this character here. With the smuggling, she must have a good poker face. Wink, wink. 6. I don't pay attention to the risks in a situation. Never tell me the odds. No, there's a Star Trek quote, right? So she enjoys a challenge. And so I definitely see, based on her personality traits, I don't necessarily see her as being a spy. I definitely do see her as being this criminal smuggler. What is her ideal? 5. People. People 5. I'm loyal to my friends, not to any ideals. That's her ideal, right? And everyone else can take a trip down the sticks for all I care. This is a neutral style background, though she is lawful evil, and we can work this very easily into her as a lawful evil entity. Remember, evil in D&D, it's very rare you would have an evil person or a villain wake up and say, "Yes, I'm evil. I'm going to wake up and kick a kitten first thing in the morning." That kind of very obvious evil, waking up and wanting to destroy the local village, kidnap the mayor's daughter, on a whim because I'm evil, isn't necessarily the type of evil you're going to encounter. Oftentimes, evil is equated more to selfishness. How selfish are you? Are your goals more important than others? And especially if you know those goals involve destruction of other people's property or rights or liberties, things like that. And so as you impose yourself because your selfishness is more important than other people's, whatever you'd want to juxtapose it to, altruism, selflessness, freedoms, that then casts you in an evil light to many others. This character may very well wake up in the morning and say, no, I'm working within the bounds of a contract. There are certain things I won't do. Maybe she has this personal code of I won't kill men or women or people under X age, or I won't bring harm to other tieflings no matter what. So she's operating on this code, and she's not just doing things for the sake of it being lulzy and her being what is known in D&D circles as a murder hobo. Right? You have no place to live. You just wander around the lands. You kill whatever's there. You loot the bodies. And you just float around, and it's this endless cycle of destruction. Some varieties are called lol random murder hobos. Her bond is 1. I'm trying to pay off an old debt I owe to a generous benefactor. In this case, if she's doing that, she might be undergoing actions that will make her appear evil to many. But in fact, she's doing it, and yes, selfishly, she's trying to pay back this debt, and she's not explaining it necessarily to anyone. She doesn't need anyone to tell her what to do, except her benefactor. So right now, she's lawful evil because of what she has been relegated to doing. And her flaw is number 4, because we're all flawed creatures. Uh-oh, cliffhanger. It's on the next page. Haha, here we go. Number 4. I have a tell that reveals when I'm lying. So Mr. Grimm, to kind of bring that around to what you were saying there, you're right, she needs a good poker face. Apparently she doesn't have the best one. With her being aware of this, it's probably better for her just not to get caught, because she won't be the best liar. Difference between Doctor Doom and Joker. Oh yeah, yep, there you go. That's a good way of putting it. Doctor Doom is definitely more of a lawful evil type. He may want to take over the world, but why would he want to destroy it? Because he wants to take it over and rule it. What are you going to rule over, a pile of ashes? Meanwhile, the Joker's just like, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want. You know, that whole Cartman from South Park, whatever, I'll do what I want. Yeah, that's a very good observation. Okay, so yeah, she's definitely a better criminal smuggler than a spy, but that's something that we can consider. Her background feature is criminal contact. Oh, you're a guild artisan. So, Romonger, it prompted you with 20 different types of things that you could buy as an artisan, or if you took the variant, that you could sell as a guild merchant. Did you choose one of those 20, or did you pick something else? I'm really eager to learn more and to hear about what this character is that you're generating. The criminal contact is a reliable and trustworthy contact who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. You know how to get messages to and from your contact, even over great distances. Especially, you know the local messengers, corrupt caravan masters, and seedy sailors who can deliver messages for you. And in the city that we rolled last night, a city built over a swamp that this river flows through, you better believe that there's a lot of sailors and there's quite literally an underbelly, right? If you have a lot of these raised platforms holding districts and houses and everything, that means all of this purple area, even underneath the gray, this is an area for this campaign where, you know, dark transactions can occur. Kitty on paper, hi-yo to you as well. Welcome. We have a really cool character brewing. We have this monk, this Wave of the Four Elements monk. She's evil, but apparently that might be because she's under some pressure. So it might be kind of a temporary evil. But Kitty, you are welcome to ask questions while you're in here, share stories. For instance, Rowmonger is telling us about a character that he or she is generating. Oh, you took Tinker Tools and Smithing Tools. Kind of lost that this is very different than 40k. Do you mean 40k as in Dark Heresy, the role-playing game, or 40k as in the tabletop miniature, like the squadron-based shoot-'em-up game? Which, by the way, I had a NID army that was a lot of fun. So I can talk about the tabletop miniatures or the tabletop RPG. So anyway, welcome, Kitty. In fact, I'm going to do a random Who Goes There? It's late and I'm on watch. My party member has been gone for a while. Eventually, I sense someone or something approaching. Steel Dust? Is that you? It then moves forward and suddenly responds, Tear Glove. Oh, hey, Kitty. All right. You are Awe. Well, then I will be showcasing your drawings after we take our break, which will be following the formation of this character. So for those of you in chat, Awe is by this point, a rather well-known and infamous character in our Curse of Strahd game that I'm running at my local game store. Oh, the minis. Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit different. Now, you can still push a mini row. I don't know if you've selected one, because there's a lot you can choose from for the tactical side of D&D. For that, you should have a little bit easier time if you've been playing a lot of 40k. Getting into role-playing, I don't know, if you enjoy the fluff of 40k and you can envision, you know, you have these Space Marine chapters and all this, there's nothing saying then you can't take it to an individual level like you have with your dwarf, and put it into similar terms that you may be more comfortable or understanding. Maybe he's a nerd from Mars, and, you know, he's he's one of the tech priests, and they don't exactly get along with people who have more skin than machine parts. And so you're using what you're comfortable with, and then you're just applying it through a filter of D&D of some kind. You've been chosen to paint all the... Oh, cool, you paint too? That's awesome. By the way, Steel, if you're coming to me kind of teary-eyed like that, like, I mean... Everyone, look at that little face. Can you turn down a face like that? He came back. He probably got lost. Steel Dust just, you know, was glad to find our camp again, because we're all camped out. We're telling stories around the fire right now. And you know, he's like, "Oh, I got lost." No, well, come here. Come on. We got some soup over the fire. Come on, Steel Dust. You're good. Uh-oh. Apparently I invited some sort of evil doppelganger into camp, because no sooner have I invited Steel Dust, if that is his real name, into camp for some soup, he's challenging me to a duel for 300 experience points. Well, Steel Dust, I, ! accept. Oh, and Peru's over here laughing because Peru, of course, has his own luck with duels. Which, by the way, if any of you were on last night, Peru was definitely out for blood. Like, he wanted to duel everyone. He wanted all your experience points. You know, I really need to stop with these duels. I still have yet to win one. Hey, you can always go on adventures through dungeons, but while we're making a criminal, it seems that crime does not pay, Steel. Shame on you. Now that we've finished our background, we're going to come over here to races and flip down to Tiefling. Dun, da, da, da. There's the usual stuff. You're medium size. There's age and all this stuff. You move 30 feet. You do get to speak Common and Infernal. That is nice. We get Dark Vision out to 60 feet, which is very nice. Then we get Hellish Resistance. That gives us resistance to fire damage. Now, for those of you who are new here, when we're making characters, I'm only putting the name of the ability in the feature slot. It saves space and a little bit of time. If any of you have questions about anything you see on the character sheet, let me know and I'll stop and I'll make sure to address that question. But this way it gives us a point to go back and reference if we need to. As well, we're going to get Infernal Legacy, and that's going to give us some spells, and we'll fill those down on the spell sheet as one of the last things that we do. You're out for coin, nothing more. Well, as I did this with Dark Wolf, we're going to Hellish Resistance means that you take half damage from fire damage sources, Mr. Grimm. There's a lot of you. You guys are talking. You're engaging in games and all this. I'm going to give all of you 100 experience points. That's a little bit like gold here. You can spend that on the mini games. So you can go on adventures. You can use. You can pull from a card from the deck of many things. Have some fun with it. This is my way of thanking you as an active, chatty group to want to continue and just have fun with everything. So take a look at the commands available to you down below and spend your experience, have fun, save it because you want to go on a big adventure. An Underdark adventure costs 1,000 experience, and an epic adventure costs 2,000. So that's something to consider. Peru says, I'm working on stuff, but thanks for the points. No, that's fine. Peru, this is, I mean, look at everyone is chatting. There's a really awesome vibe going on in the room right now. We're having fun making this lawful evil character. We don't often get to make a lawful evil character. So, spirits are high and strong, and I think it's a good way. And plus, Peru, you're just going to blow through that anyway on like two deck pulls. I know you. EDL, first time here, but thanks. You're very welcome. You're welcome to lurk, EDL. Though, ask questions if you have them about what we're doing, or you can do what Rowmonger is doing and asking questions. For instance, he's talking about a character that he's creating himself. I'm sorry, I'm presuming he or she. In fact, one of those is when writing the fluff for your PC, how much is acceptable? That is a good question, Row. Be able to pitch your character to not just your DM, but your fellow characters in a minute. If you can pitch... Oh, cool! Thank you, Ashes... Hang on. I'm in the wrong screen. There we go. That's a little better. Thank you, Ashes of Ice. I appreciate you following. And you'll notice that by following, you chip down Cherries, the evil Cherries. Her health bar's gone down some. The more followers we have, the easier it is to take down this boss. And you can do stuff with bits and, cheers and subscriptions and hosts and follows. And that gets you more experience points bonuses, too, that you can spend on the games that we have here. I do know you well, Peru. You're in here quite often, right? Hey, good pull on the deck, Dark Wolf, because the deck of many things has some pretty scary stuff, but you got one of the good cards. But anyway, so yeah, EDL, Ashes of Ice, welcome. This is an open conversation. Talk about D&D stuff. I'll respond back to you. Hey, yeah. Thank you. Welcome. Good. You're up 10 to 13 pages. So, Ro, about that. There's nothing necessarily wrong with having an expansive backstory to your character. You need to remember, though, that there's only so much of that at a party. Oh, all these notifications. Thank you. Thank you so much for following. And look at that life bar go down. My goodness. Uh-oh, Mr. Grimm. Oh, you got kind of one of the bad ones. You know what? That's a nice character you have there. It'd be a real shame if something were to happen to it. Yeah, Peru, you can make an epic book of backstory, but make some cliff notes. Because, in all honesty, even like your DM needs to try and pull together the stories and motivations for everyone at the table. And also, even you yourself, would you want to try and memorize 10 pages of backstory for every other player at the table? It's not a question of respect or attention span or intelligence or IQ or anything. But you need to be able to pitch your character to everyone in a minute, and then over the course of the game, through your actions and words that you're actively performing, they will learn more about your character. And you can always drop in little, like you can keep your 10 pages, right? And you have this, you want to drop in notes of your character along the campaign. Every week you might bring something up, or you speak with a certain accent, and that would indicate like this whole paragraph or two of information about your character, simply because you're doing something naturally in the course of role-playing anyway. EDL, I usually write lots of stuff, but use only a small part of it since the start. But in a long campaign, when characters learn each other better, I can share a few more stories from the past during camp time. That is exactly correct, EDL, and that's good advice for Rowmonger. And I'm glad you said that, especially, hey, you know what, you're a first-timer here, you're a lurker, EDL. Your voice and your experience as a writer, as a D&D player, or even Rowmongers as a traditional 40k miniature player, we're all strong in different things. We have experiences in different ways. I'll happily answer any questions that you all have, right? You know, I'm the host, and it's kind of the camera's on me, and I'm talking to you personally, but also you broadly. I'll do my best, but please, this is a community. We might as all, we're all sitting around the same game table now. You know, we're jamming out, you know, we're in our PJs or whatever, we're eating Thai food, or we have some tea, or whatever it is that's, you know, making us calm and happy, and we're having a conversation. That's exactly what this is. And in all honesty, some D&D ASMR secrets. This is what D&D is about. We don't need to roll dice. And we don't really need books. We're playing D&D right now simply by having a conversation with each other around a table. Yes, Mr. Grimm, that's a nice house you have there. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to it. It'd be nice to be around the campfire. Has an interesting story to tell. Well, you know what, Kitty / tell the story if you want. Tell it in chat. Oh, you're very welcome, Kitty. That's one of the benefits that I can do through this platform that's a little bit more difficult to do in the store. But yeah, Kitty, tell your story. Ro, continue talking about your character. Let's share what we have together. I'm kind of in the background of you all. I'm answering you and definitely paying attention, but I'm kind of nice background noise, even above the windswept plains that we have. Oh, they're not playing in the background. Now that they're playing in the background, we have these windswept plains, and we're making progress together. Oh, so that was our tiefling stuff, with the exception of we get to increase our intelligence by 1 and our charisma by 2. So we're going to put those there as just a placeholder. Now, let's collapse this and come down to classes and choose monk. Pardon. We have an 8th level character. Here's this line. And then we're going to go. Come here. Well, whatever. You get the idea. Look at the 8th level line. And we're going to get all the stuff that's before that, and we're going to fill it on the character. Don't let your eyes cross. This is completely manageable. Building a high level, I mean, not really high, but building a character level like this, it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. 8th level, our proficiency bonus is +3. Our martial arts are a D6. And then we're going to get unarmored movement speed of plus 15 feet, meaning that our speed, because we're going to be unarmored, is 45. She's a quick one. Her hit die, we have 8d8, and she's at full hit dice right now. We're putting that down instead of hit points because we can't determine her hit points until we determine her constitution score and thereby her modifier. Peru says, yeah, let's hear it. I need a break at lines of code. In a crazy hard match. Oh, Ro asks, okay, chat, what does an epic level campaign mean? Epic is like 19 AC. Not necessarily. Well, in the games that we're playing, in the chat games, yeah, it's 19 AC. If you did exclamation point random epic and you had 2,000 experience to put up, epic is high level. What does that mean in 5th edition? Because technically we only go to 20 in this one. You could say maybe 15 to 20 is epic levels, 16 to 20 is epic levels. I mean, definitely 20 is. What that just means, by this point, you are a very matured wizard, sorcerer, you're a fighter. You're at the peak of your performance. You can attack 3 times around. You can cast devastating spells with ease. It means that you have become this paragon. I mean, we're using a 4th edition word here. Paragon actually was levels 10 to 20, and then epic was 21 to 30. But you are becoming this paragon of who you are, and your potential is realized. Hey, King, welcome back. Yeah, you're doing stuff with gods in reality. That can be true. It's easier to conceptualize by going after large entities like that, King. Sometimes, though, an epic campaign just comes down to a very difficult moral choice because you as important characters in the world at this point, because, right, let's face it, maybe 2% of the population of the world reaches level 20, because we're talking kings and generals and you know, heroes of legend, which is exactly what you're supposed to be. You have to make decisions that affect hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions of people, or you have a decision to destroy an entire type of people, or to bring about an entire revolution of culture or magic or economics or something along those lines. So epic is more the scale of the impact of your actions. You started out as a level 1 fighter and you need to go, you know, clear out the goblins that have been harassing farmers in the countryside. You know, you drive them off and there's your level 1 adventure. By level 20 as a fighter, your influence in the world, your capabilities are far beyond that, and you'll have the ability to do more than just impress a farmer on the borderlands who will put you up for the night and give you a hot bowl of soup, and you're like, oh, phew, I thought I might have to spend some of the few silver I have rubbing together in my pocket. Does that answer your question, I hope? What else do we get? We get weapons. Simple weapons and short swords. Now for monks, you can flavor something like a short sword into a katar, into a kukri, into other weapons that might seem Asian. And so instead of a dagger, maybe you want a shuriken, you know, like a ninja star or whatever. You can make a club. You can apply a skin, right? Some free DLC. Ooh, what a relief in 2018. To make a club, a statistical club into a nunchaku, that kind of a thing. I will accept your duel, Peru, on the grounds that I win. I like this game. In reality, I don't have anything hacked. It's a 50-50 coin flip. Oh, Peru, see how far you've fallen? No armor proficiencies, but that's fine. She's not going to wear any, well, armor. She might wear clothes. I kind of hope so. Especially if we're talking about a swamp. I mean, you got to keep those mosquitoes off you. Ooh. Oh, now we get to choose one type of artisan's tools or one musical instrument. Artisan's tools. I can think of some interesting things. We'll go to the equipment section. For right now, why don't we put down the placeholder of artisan's tools. Boom. I accept your duel. Have at you. Our saving throw proficiencies are in strength and dexterity, so she's a little bit better at those types of saves than the others. And then we get to choose 2 skills from acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. Well, we're already given stealth. So let's see. She's up for challenges. She's a criminal smuggler. She likes overcoming these challenges. She doesn't pay attention to the risks in a situation. Never tell her the odds. So that means that she's confident in her survival, even if she's not knowledgeable. Now, these are things that are jumping out at me. As you in chat are following along with her, or not, I don't know, it could be background noise, and that's perfectly fine. This is kind of a talk show. That's why I put that as a subcategory. What would we be doing here? Uh-oh, Dark Wolf is hunting in the plains. Uh-oh, a giant wolf spider jumps out at you, Dark Wolf. You need an 8 or greater, so you need to roll a 2d20. Did you accidentally hit an O, the letter O, instead of a 20? Try it again, Dark Wolf. Exclamation point 2D20. There we go. 19 and a 14. Hey, you beat the giant wolf spider, so congrats, Dark Wolf. You win 50 experience points. Ah, that might have been it. Okay, so Kitty, aka is telling a story. So all of you in chat, I'd give it a look because she's bringing this character to life, and maybe you can prompt her with questions as well. As is a very unique character, to say the least. Stare at the fire. Grr, tell a little of past. I hate people. They look at me and would scream my name. The beast. That would annoy me, so I kill them. 'Cause that all knew, for far as can remember, was just a naked and dirty child, no home, no family, just dirt and trees before Nothing hold dear to and no one thought of dear, until, grrr, done talking. Throws rocks in the fire and walks away. Are one of you going to go after is actually telling us some of her backstory, and this could be very important. I would urge someone, please go after and convince to come back to the fire. Hey, Mo Guns, thank you for coming along. This guy. Oh. Alright. Looks like Peru's going to go and try and get back to camp here. If any of you wants to aid Peru in getting back to tell her story, go ahead and do so now. This is a group effort here, because might accept the offer, but I mean, especially given a little bit of the past that has been shown, it might be good to show some group support. Besides, if one of you aids Peru's going to get advantage. Acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. So I don't see her really as being a knowledgeable person. She likes the challenge. So maybe athletics and acrobatics would be good for her. That way she can take these physical challenges of getting into places, smuggling, doing things like that. Oh, Grim. Okay, so oh, all right. Now, you have some people coming up to you, and it shows like they're actually interested in what you have to say. So you kind of have a responsibility to them, to interact with them here and to at least come back and finish off the booze you've been passed. If not, recognize the efforts of everyone here who wants to hear your story. Dark Wolf. Yeah, I don't think you want her getting drunk. Okay, and then we get some equipment also. We get a short sword or any simple weapon. Let's go for a short sword. And a Dungeoneer's pack or an Explorer's pack. Dungeoneer's pack, because it has a lot of things for getting through traps and exploring in confined spaces. And that's something that's... like, we've made kind of a thiefy monk, like a rogue monk, without actually multi-classing, which is interesting. Again, if you have questions on any of this equipment, aside from the role-playing, the really good role-playing that we're doing here in chat, please feel free to ask, and I will explain what's in a Dungeoneer's pack, why a short sword, things along those lines. Stare at the bottle. Drink all of it. Breaks the bottle near Peru. Fine. Sits back down. Excellent role-playing. If you keep it up, guys, and I'll make sure to give you a little bit of an experience points reward for that. Short S words and Dart X10. Okay, so we get martial arts, we get key, and we can funnel key into flurry of blows, patient defense, and step of the wind. So key. Whoops. A bit surprise face. You can do what with key? Nani? And we increase our speed by another 10 feet. Oh, no, that's on our movement. We already got the bonus, and we already figured that in. Do not add in that extra 10. That's the 9th level. I'm sorry. Then at 9th level, we get the ability to move along vertical surfaces and across liquids on our turn without falling during the move. So we can start to do some like matrix walking with that. Deflect missiles. This is the thing that if someone like shoots a crossbow at us, we just kind of go whoopah, and we deflect it. And if we deflect it and reduce the damage down enough, we actually catch it, and then we can flip it back at them and use that as like a reaction attack against them. It's kind of interesting too, because technically you could do that with bullets, let's say. So someone fires a musket or something at your monk, and you just sort of like do the strike stopper like an anime, right? And then you look at the little lead ball and you play marbles with them right back. Kyoken. Fine, want to hear rest of Aw Tale? Aw screams. Yep, Peru. Peru's going to be a good listener to you, Aw. EDL, yep. Looks like EDL's on board too. I guess we can call you Edel. Stupid Storm, answer incoming. Says Shad. Do you mean on Discord, Shad? Oh, by the way, for all of you who are new here and you want to continue discussions, you want to ask questions when we're not streaming, here's the Discord. And if you want to watch past for lack of a better term, episodes or segments that we've done on character creation, PC advice, etc. Bada boom, look at that. There's a YouTube as well. By the way, Shadzar, we have some awesome role-playing going on right now. Kitty on Paper is a character named Ah, and she started to tell her backstory a bit in chat, and wasn't sure if anyone wanted to hear it, and she walked off. Though Peru, EDL, and Mr. Grimm all kind of went after her and convinced her to at least sit back down for a little bit and tell a little bit more of her tale. So you're welcome to get in on that, Shadzar, or you can kind of be the wizened wizard and kind of lean up against the log and listen sagely. We get slow fall also. That means we don't take as much falling damage. Because again, like some Matrix style stuff. We get an extra attack. So, attack X2. We can also instill a stunning strike against a foe. Then we get key empowered strikes, meaning that our unarmed strikes count as magical for the purposes of overcoming DR. We get evasion, which means that we take less damage from failed saves on like if someone shoots a fireball at you, right? You're half and half here, depending on the storm. Now I got you, Shed. Take breath. To everyone, this was just an ugly. This was just an ugly thief, but to was like a father. He saw naked and dirty. He did not yell name. Though at that point, every man was foe, so try not to kill. Chuckles. A sensible chuckle. Ooh. See, look at this. As Monk, we get a ton of abilities. Stillness of mind, purity of body. Oh, no, that was level 10. We get stillness of mind. We're not pure yet, so, cover up and be modest. Alright, the monastic traditions is our archetype. We didn't go way of the open hand. We went way of the four elements. Again, think a little bit like, Avatar The Last Airbender stuff. We are a disciple of the elements. When you choose this tradition at 3rd level, you learn magical disciplines that harness the power of the 4 elements. A discipline requires you to spend key points each time you use it. You know the elemental attunement discipline and one other elemental discipline of your choice, which are detailed in the elemental discipline section below. You learn one additional elemental discipline of your choice at 6th, 11th, and 17th level, so we're going to get one more. So for a total of 3 here. Casting elemental spells. Some elemental disciples allow you to cast spells. See Chapter 10 for general rules of spell casting. To cast one of these spells, you use its casting time and other rules, but you don't need to provide material components for it. Once you reach 5th level in this class, you can spend additional key points to increase the level of an elemental discipline spell that you cast. So in this case, you're channeling your ki to not improve your body and its functions, but you want to manifest magical effects by harnessing your ki. It's a kind of a quasi-psionic thing to do. A nudist monk. Kind of. I mean, monks, you just wear like a robe, and honestly, that's all the armor that you need. And depending on how, you do the very traditional, like the meditation under the waterfall, so you're there and you're one with nature in more ways than one. And you're sitting there, you're letting the water fall over you as you contemplate, and things like that. And Mr. Grimm, that and even Ob, in bringing up the backstory, there's nothing necessarily bad or taboo about, bringing up stuff like that if it's relevant to the character. Because oftentimes, especially as storytellers, that shows vulnerability. That shows, and it can also be a show of trust as well. It's not necessarily just, nakedness for nakedness. That can exist too. I mean, we kind of made a We made a bit of a sultry character yesterday. But you actually bring up a good point that as a PC or especially as a DM, having this stuff as part of your character can do things to not just bring attention in, kind of a lewd, common denominator way, but as ways to flourish your character with splashes of color and relevance, of either intimacy or vulnerability or a complete trust, or even just this, I'm so confident in myself and I don't care about others' opinions. I am going to be me, and I embrace that. Manifest keys sounds like a good rogue ability, doesn't it? Ding, 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 ding. In all honesty, you go Arcane Trickster and you take knock and you don't even have to try anymore, Shad. Okay, so here's our spells and key points. Elemental disciplines are presented in alphabetical order. Clench of the North Wind. Not necessarily like the Fist of the North Star. Nani? Anata wa mo shinderu. You can spend 3 key points to cast Hold Person, Elemental Attunement. So we are going to get this Elemental Attunement, and then we get 2 others for the level that we're at. You can use your action to briefly control elemental forces nearby, causing one of the following effects of your choice. And there's a list that you can see up on the screen. If you want me to go over that in detail, I will. Otherwise, it's, well, bing, 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 it's up there. Sounds like you're holding in a fart. If we're all sitting around a campfire telling stories and you're saying that, Mr. Grimm, you remind me of a particular scene from Blazing Saddles. Take that drink. Drink all of it. Hiccup. Well, he do all swings, and he took down, and he laughed. Was so confused. Just stopped trying to kill, and he said to me, "What an ugly orc, with such bad skills. Come with me, child. I'll make you a real fighter." He let go of me, and I'll follow. Okay. I want to give her some skills that are going to reflect the fact that she's a criminal smuggler. No. You can cast 3 key points to cast Shatter. That could be interesting. Gong of the Summit. She's not 11th level yet. Rush of the Gale. Ooh, Gust of Wind can be a good one, too. Shape of the Flowing River, for sure, given the location. And Water Whip is a good one, too. Shape the Flowing River and Water Whip. There we go. Eats cans of beans. Oh, hey, Del. Welcome. So, Del makes a splash on the scene, but you lost your experience points because the monster... by the way, if you battle, the minimum is 100 EXP. So, Del kind of showed up. He punched in, and he got punched back, and now he's offering his greetings. Del, welcome. We're all sitting around a fire, and Kitty on Paper, a.k.a. is telling us her backstory. So why don't you pull up a stone and toast a marshmallow or some camp ration and get in on the... everyone's kind of passing around, like a wine flask or something. And we're all getting in on the backstory of and who she is and how she came to be. Yep, Peru's been kind of getting in there. Grimm, EDL, and Peru have been primarily the ones interacting with but the more the merrier. So, Del, if you have any questions, please forward them to Oh, okay. I guess Peru is actually out of things now because Peru didn't pass a con check here. Someone might need to res please him. Pardon. Dex should be highest. Probably wisdom. Now, unfortunately, tieflings don't start out with that as high. That's not bad. In 5th edition, anyone can be anything. But I definitely think we should put our highest in Dex. And then we can go wisdom 14. Um, 13, 12, no, 10, 12, and 8. Do we want to make her fragile? Wait, you know what? She's not necessarily the most observant. That's not what she's built to do. Wisdom, well, but that would add into the AC, and that would give her kind of a higher base. At the same time, I don't know. I don't necessarily feel comfortable with that. If you guys have any suggestions on her build, given her personality, I think 15 definitely should be the highest in Dex. We do get an AC bonus with Wisdom because that will stack in there. And while she's not trained or she's not proficient in Wisdom skills, it would make her more observant, more insightful. Hi, Space Summoner. Welcome. We are around a campfire. We're doing some storytelling. We have someone, one of the chatters in here, Kitty on Paper, is telling us the story of her her character, Ah. So pull up a rock and pass around the wine flask. Oh, and here's the next segment that just popped up too. Ask questions, Summoner, if you have any, about what we're doing here. If you have general D&D questions, this is a conversation. Let's have a back and forth together. Right now, we're building a random character, a monk, and we're having a fun conversation on the side. He teach Aw to talk, and teach Aw to read. I hate doing both, but most importantly, he teach Aw to fight. Aw grips her fists. Her face turns sour. For 4 years, Aw was happy, becoming a thief, learning, and having someone to talk with. It was Aw happy years. But one day, let go her grip. Yes, cheers. Cheers, Space Summoner. Well, we're 8th level. We get 8 key points. Eight plus proficiency. Oh, so we would want a higher wisdom because that's kind of what we're casting off of. That could make it a little bit more difficult. Oops, I'm sorry. This monk 8 key points goes on. That's not her name. that goes down here. This is gonna be based off of Wiz. So we have 8 plus 3, I think it was. Yeah, so that's 11. But we don't have our wisdom yet. So yeah, I guess if we do that and we put in the 14 there, we could put in a 13, 12. She wants to take on the challenge. She's not necessarily so good. I have a tell that reveals when I'm lying. Maybe we can make her charisma the 10. Her strength the 12. So we have 15, 14, 13, 12, 10. That would still put her constitution at 8. So she is a little fragile. Or if we do Constitution 0 and we do Charisma 8, that would then modify it so she doesn't have a negative Charisma. It's just evened out, and that makes her a little bit more well-rounded of a character. And because we rolled that she's not taking any feats, she's going to get 2 ability score adjustments. Okay, so with this spread, this means that her intelligence bumps to 14 and her charisma bumps to 10. Now we can put one of those ASIs, we're going to put 2 points in one to bring that to 17. And then we can give her other one, we can give her wisdom a bump as well. Well, if we gave her dexterity, that would give her an offensive and a defensive bump as well. It would be the same for wisdom, actually, honestly, as a 4 monks element, because you're casting off of wisdom. So why don't we kind of have them play catch up with each other here? There we go. This means her strength mod is a 1, 3, 0, 2, 3, 0. Bada boom. There we go. Nice and easy. And we're doing this all based on her personality and who we're making her out to be based on the knowledge we have at hand. Ah and Father was supposed to be training day like all days, but Ah got too happy. Ah did not know that Ah was too strong. Ellipses. Pulls out a bottle of lycanthrope moonshine. Here, I'll go ahead and continue. Lycanthrope moonshine. That's... Is that the brand name? 4, 6, 0, 2, wisdom 3, charisma 0. You know what? I kind of want to say that we should have done that, because if she likes survivability, if she likes taking challenges, she needs to be a little rough and tumble. And so if we gave her the 10 in intelligence plus the 2 to bring it to 12, and we gave the 12 in constitution, that would at least give her some more hit points. I kind of like that a little bit better. She's this kind of a tomboyish character, right? Lawful evil. She's looking out for herself. The best way to get me to do something is to tell me she can't do it, and I don't pay attention to the risks in a situation. Never tell me the odds. She's a smuggler after all, right? Kind of a Han Solo. Okay, so Con actually gets a 1. Dex, here we go. 3 and 3 makes 6. That's also going to be a 6. And this other Dex, sleight of hand, is going to be a 3. Animal handling is a whiz. 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. Arcana, she's not necessarily a dummy. Oh, that should be a 1. There we go. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We're talking about a lot of giants from Game of Thrones here. 1s. Athletics is strength. So that's 1 plus proficiency, so that's 4. And that's the only strength skill. Deception is Cha. 0, but she's proficient, so that's a 3. 0, 0, and 0. There we go. There's our skills. Hi, Robemonger. No, don't apologize. You're welcome back. You can come and go as you please. You can lurk. You can chat. Kitty on paper, as her character Ah, she's still sitting down, and we've been able to convince her to stay and tell her story. So you can probably scroll up a little bit and catch some, but she's doing a good job right now of kind of telling about the good old days that might not have been after one fated one where Ah forgot her own strength. And remember, you all can play chat games and win experience. Just look at the different commands below. And if you have questions on those, please feel free to ask. Now that we have that, her dexterity, that means her initiative modifier is 3. Her unarmored defense is 3 plus 3 plus 10 is 16. And her hit point maximum, we're doing D8s. So at first level, it's 8 plus her con, so that's going to be 9. And then we have 9 plus 7 levels of a 1 con. And then we have 7 levels of half plus 1, so that's going to be 5. So that's going to be plus 35. And so that's going to equal 42. She has 51 hit points. And considering that she can get out of some damage, that's pretty good. Peru kind of fell on his face a little earlier and is snoozing and begins to mumble about the moonshine in the presence of the bottle. And Darkwolf is going on another adventure. It's not just a rabbit, it's a lion that pounces out at Darkwolf. You're rolling a disadvantage, so that's exclamation point 2d20, Darkwolf. A 12 and 11, and you have a +1 modifier. Hey, you won 125 experience points. There you go. Okay, anything else to fill in up here? Not necessarily. I mean, we can add in our fists, which are going to be all of the... Oh, a dard. Dard. I'll throw dards. Those are dull darts, right? D for dull. Dard. These are all going to be +6s to hit. Right? Ability mod plus proficiency. There we go. Bludgeoning damage and magical damage. So we can actually get rid of this line and just worry about that. We have 2 attacks. Outside of our normal flurry of blows and everything else we can do. Push bottle away. Breathe in. Killed father. Hits her face, then wipes the tears dry roughly. On that day, cry. Only cried that day. Did nothing. Did not care. Touched him. He teach well. Pack things. And left only the gloves on... the gloves his left of him. Touches her chopped up hair. Chopped up. I chop off my hair as reminder. You didn't read the description for the moonshine. Oh, and our passive perception is 13, which isn't terrible. We won't need these stat blocks anymore, meaning that, ding, 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 our character is at the point now where she can earn her name. If you are thinking about names, we need some physical descriptors for this character. I don't want to take away from what you guys are doing in chat. This is awesome role-playing, and hopefully you all are enjoying Kitty's story about Ah. Ah is a really cool character. Though, if you want to have input on the thing that we're doing here on the side, as we're making this tiefling monk, female tiefling monk, lawful evil. She is kind of like the tomboy, you know, rough and tumble. She takes on challenges. Let me know. I noticed, haha, however, I did not. You know, the difference between in character and out of character, it seems. Right? Now, all that's really left besides some of her cosmetic traits are to fill in spell casting. And we're going to get a couple things because she's a tiefling. And specifically, let's go back up to here. Never care for gold. Just wants father alive. So as thief, he feels alive. Breathes out. I now done talking. Hate talking too much. Spell jamming pangalactic gargle blaster. Is that the description of the moonshine? It's just that powerful, it'll knock you into another dimension. So Peru, EDL, Ro, Grim, anyone here? Seems to have kind of let out her, you know, she's told us of her backstory and is a little bit remorse. This is up to you on how you want to, you know, share your own story. You can, try and distract her. You can share your own story. You can say, let's get up and, have an arm wrestling contest or something. And there's various tools in chat that if you even wanted to do that, you can. That thaumaturgy is going to be really good for smuggling, actually, because of the abilities it can let you do. That's really cool. And being able to cast darkness as a smuggler, that's another cool ability. There we go. Monk levels 5th through 8th, maximum key points for a spell. So we're going to type max 3 per spell. We're kind of like a sorcerer, like an elemental sorcerer / martial artist. Uh-oh. Peru's getting feisty here. Oh, okay, Mr. I see, Shad, what you're saying there. The end. Thank you, thank you. No, that's a drink. It was like taking a brick and smashing it into your brain. EDL comes in. It's not your fault, but I'm sure as a thief he is proud of what you're doing. And you get pats on the back, I like the cheating way out of naming. A girl has no name. I see what you're doing there, Del. And EDL, that's nice of you to thank someone else in chat for sharing that story. And, any of you can do the same. If you want to come up with a character, like, yeah, you have your Twitch handle, but do you want to be someone else? Kitty on Paper is, that's a Twitch handle, but right now, Kitty on Paper is don't touch, but inside she thanks you. Yeah, Peru, apparently I'm on a roll here. Okay, so this lets us increase the level of the spells that we have. Okay, so really the only hard magic that we have is what we obtain by being a tiefling. So we get some options now by being a monk that kind of makes us like a quasi-sorcerer. Our spell save for monk abilities, not our tiefling ones, are based on wisdom. So 8 plus 3 plus 3 is 14. And that means we're going to attack with a plus 6 if we want to throw some fire at someone. Or to use water whip. Space Summoner wants to go into the forest. You might not have enough experience points, Summoner, if you're new. You might have enough. Actually, I'll tell you what, Space. You are new here. Whoops. Let's... There you go. There's some EXP to play around with. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for participating, lurking, chatting, being a part of everything that we're doing here. So there's a little bonus. Have some fun. Pull from the deck of many things. Go on an adventure to earn some more EXP. That kind of a thing. Okay, love to stay longer, but have to go to bedtime. Have fun with my art. I will, Kitty. I'm really eager. We're going to be taking a break here soon, and when we come back, I'm going to show everyone your concept of awe. So I really appreciate you coming in. Actually, hang on. We're going to... There's some bonus experience points for you being so detailed with your RP. And generally, I'm going to throw in 40 for all of you for participating, for, you know, trying to bring comfort or moonshine to it, for involving yourselves, and even just for lurking and gaining incidental experience through everything that we're doing here. It's wonderful, and I appreciate it. And I want you all to have fun and play these games, ask questions, role play. It's wonderful. The deck of many things was like Pandora's box, kind of. Things only happen when you draw a card, and you only draw one card at a time. And that also, Pandora's box affects the world, right? It fills the world with all of these bad things. The deck of many things will either bless you or curse you in some way. It's even-ish in good and bad, but it's high risk, high reward. So that's up to you. For what we're doing here, Rowmonger, there's not really a penalty. If you draw a really good card, I might give you 100 experience points for it. But this is just to have... That's a for fun bot command. Oh, EDL, bringing down Peru. Nice. And Mr. Grimm pulls from the deck of many things. And you get the knight. Very cool. Yeah, Peru, you're not doing too well, unfortunately. You gotta rally. Come on, back to the wall. Okay, so here we have a character. I'm gonna find I'll try and find on the break a little bit of character art. Let's go to our short rest screen. I am going to mute the mic, drink some tea, do some stretches. You all do the same. Have some fun playing in the chat with commands, role play. You know, come up with a character. And I'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll get into our next part, which is talking about, yes, you are a PC, but that makes you a co-DM. And if you're not sure what that means, then, well, you'll find out soon.